It's late. The air hums with that slow delta heat, the kind that makes even the night lazy. The jukebox in the corner clicks and whirs, and out rolls a voice like smoke and sass. Memphis Minnie singing I'm Gonna Bake My Biscuits. Now that's not just kitchen talk, that's code. Pure, clever blueswoman wordplay. Tonight we're talking about one of the sharpest guitar pickers to ever come out of Beale Street, Lizzie Douglas, better known as Memphis Minnie. Before she was Memphis Minnie, she was Lizzie Douglas, born in 1897 in Algiers, Louisiana, and raised up in Walls, Mississippi. Lizzie received her first guitar at the age of 8 as a Christmas present, learning to play banjo and guitar before she was 12 years old. She started playing at parties, and by all accounts, she hated her name. When she began performing, she performed under the name Kid Douglas. At age 13, Lizzie ran away from home and joined the Ringling Brothers Circus, playing guitar, dancing, and performing under tents across the South, and that wild streak never left her. When she finally landed on Beale Street, she wasn't just another street busker. She was a presence. She performed anywhere, up and down Beale Street, busking for coins and trading licks with jug band players. She learned from the best, picking up what she could from blues street legends passing through, like Casey Bill Weldon and Willie Brown. Young Lizzie soaked up everything: ragtime runs, bottleneck slides, and the bawdy storyteller humor that defined the early blues. And then she made it all her own. By the late 1920s, she had become known as Memphis Minnie, recording her first sides with Kansas Joe McCoy, her husband and bandmate for Columbia Records. Their debut, Bumblebee, was a hit, recorded after a talent scout discovered them playing for tips. The song became a blues standard, which was recorded and performed later by Tampa Red and Big Mama Thornton. Her style was tough, direct, and playful, the kind of sound that made people lean closer and grin. In the man's world of blues guitar, she wasn't just another female singer with a guitar. She was a powerhouse. She even once went toe-to-toe with larger-than-life bluesman Big Bill Broonzy in a guitar contest, and she won. And by the end, Broonzy supposedly quipped, "She's the best woman blues guitarist I've ever heard." And the best man, too. By 1936, Minnie was in Chicago full-time. It was here she cut I'm Gonna Bake My Biscuits. Minnie was deep into her electric phase, experimenting with swing rhythms and city polish. The song is all innuendo. Biscuits that aren't for breakfast, ovens that don't need fire. She can make a lyric wink and tease without ever crossing a line. That was her gift, coded independence. While men were bragging and boasting in the blues, Minnie flipped the script. She sang about desire, money, work, and men, but all from a woman's point of view. And when she baked her biscuits, she was the one turning up the heat. I got a brand new skillet and a brand new lead. I ain't got no stove, but I bake my bread. I'm gonna bake my biscuits. I'm gonna bake my biscuits. I'm gonna bake my biscuits. The language of food and home, baking, stirring, rolling dough, was her way of flipping the script. What men used at the time to box women in, she used to break free. You can hear it in her delivery. She is sly and playful, a woman confident in her element. Every line quietly says, "I'm running this kitchen." And in 1930s America, that was rebellion set to 12 bars. There's a warmth in her playing, a sense of humor, a wink. You hear it right there in Bake My Biscuits. Even when she's teasing, there's a tenderness beneath it. She was reminding us that power doesn't have to be loud. Sometimes it just has to swing. Listen as she croons over a punchy blues guitar line. I'ma tell you something, and I don't know if I'm wrong or right, but if you want my bread, you gotta stay all night. I'm gonna bake my biscuits, ain't gonna give nobody none. Over her lifetime, Minnie recorded more than 200 songs, an astonishingly deep catalog that took the blues from the Mississippi Delta up north to Chicago's South Side and right into the birth of rock and roll. When Muddy Waters went electric, when Chuck Berry wrote his first riffs, when Led Zeppelin turned up the volume, the blueprint was already there, written by a tough woman with a gold tooth and an arch-top guitar. Picture Minnie in that Chicago studio, chewing tobacco on hand, guitar gleaming, grinning as she leans into the mic and declares her independence in perfect 12-bar lines. She's not asking, she's telling. And a century later, that voice still holds its heat. Now here's a bit of trivia for you before we fade out. When Memphis Minnie switched to the electric guitar in the early 1940s, she was one of the very first blues artists, man or woman, to do it. She plugged in before Muddy Waters, before B.B. King, and long before Chicago blues became synonymous with that sound. So the next time you hear an amp growling on a blues record, remember, Minnie got there first. You've been listening to Dustbin Prophecies. Until next time, keep your records clean and your biscuits warm.